So you've dabbled in all sorts of different photography genres. You've done street photography, landscape photography, maybe some wildlife, portraits, some weddings, events, but you don't know which one to go fully in on. Well, the truth is, you can make money off any of those genres of photography, but you won't build up a successful photography business unless you commit to one of them. So if you want to get paid for your creativity, you want to get hired by clients that are open to your personal style of shooting, they want your creative input and control, and you don't want to just get paid for these bullshit, boring types of photo shoots, well, you got a few options here. So first you've got wedding photography, which is pretty cool, you know what I mean? You can make a lot of money from it, there's a lot of money in it, it's wholesome, you get to see people getting married all the time, it's a one-in-a-lifetime moment, well, hopefully a one-in-a-lifetime moment. Yeah, I mean, it's a wholesome little job, but if you don't like long hours, having to edit like 5,000 plus photos from a single wedding, you have to deal with, sometimes you may have to deal with bridezillas, groomzillas, you have to deal with that. Obviously the days itself can be quite back-breaking. Again, you're working like 12 plus hours, you're waking up super early in the morning sometimes. It's not that enjoyable at times, you know what I mean? And also you're probably relying on certain seasons of the year to get jobs, because not everyone just gets married all year round. Most people get married around the spring, summertime, so you may not be getting work in the winter time and the autumn time. So it's probably not the best option for you. There's wildlife and nature photography, which is pretty nice. You get to take pictures of some birds, of some cool animals, but then the issue is you're gonna have to stick in one spot for a few hours to get the perfect shot. It can be very repetitive. Also, you need super expensive gear to take any good photos. You need these fuck off massive telephoto lenses that cost like $5,000 on the cheap end. So it's a bit of a very expensive barrier of entry there. You've also got street and landscape photography, which is, in my personal opinion, very therapeutic, you get that dopamine there, you know what I mean? You get to take photos by yourself, you get to take your time, it's great, but then the only way you can really make money from that is if you sell prints and put it into an exhibition, which you need obviously to build up a platform to sell those prints, which can be very difficult to do, so there isn't really much money in that. Or there's portrait and fashion photography. You can make shit tons of money from it. You get to express your creativity. You get to meet really cool people in the industry, maybe even meet celebrities and stuff like that. And overall, it's just nowhere near as difficult as the other options I mentioned. So as you can kind of tell, portrait and fashion photography is probably the way for you. I'm personally a portrait and fashion photographer that I've done all the other genres. I've done the weddings, I've done the street stuff, I've done the events, I've done all of that, but none of them have resonated with me the most and has made me the most results in business and financially than my portrait and fashion photography. I've gotten my work into Vogue, as you can see here. That's a photo that I got into Vogue, got a little Vogue stamp in the corner there. I've been able to land consistent clients every single month, so I'm guaranteed revenue all the time, and I'm getting paid to do what I love. I'm getting paid to express myself in a creative way. You don't have to deal with editing 5,000, 3,000 photos from a photo shoot like in weddings, or you don't have to rely on getting the perfect weather conditions and the perfect scene to get a good photo in street and landscape photography. You don't have to sit in a nest for 3 hours to get the perfect photo like in wildlife. You don't even need super expensive gear either to take good photos. Portrait and fashion photography, they're basically the same thing, they go hand in hand. They allow you to express your personal style and get paid a shit ton of money to do so. I don't know about you who's watching this video, but I don't want to get paid for these boring bullshit photo shoots where I see no fulfillment from, and I'm not proud of the photos that I create. I want to get paid to do something where it doesn't even feel like work to me. Like when I do these fashion shoots, these portrait shoots, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like a fun fucking time. It's great. Like, I'm not saying I'm like afraid of work. I'm not going, oh, I don't want to work. I'm not like a lazy person. Like, again, I've done weddings before, and I've done 16-hour weddings, I've done 14-hour weddings, I've done 12-hour weddings, and like, I can do them. It's not the fact that I'm not capable of doing hard work. It's just, I don't want to get paid to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do them at all, ideally, but if I do them occasionally, that's fine, but I don't want that to be my main source of revenue where like, I'm relying on that. Like, this is what I do as a job. Like, no way. I can personally say with confidence that portrait photography is what will fulfill you the most as a photographer, especially if you're a photographer that loves to have full creative control of your photos. And it's also the thing that got me on the map of the industry the quickest. Like, I used to do street and landscape stuff in the past. I was doing that for a year, 2 years, and I saw basically no growth on my platform. I saw no clients. I was basically making no money from it. But as soon as I just switched and made that transition into shooting portraits and doing like that fashion type of stuff, my audience and my platform and everything, like my YouTube even, and like my money just skyrocketed. Like, I started to build up a network of real people. I started to actually go out there, building a network with people in the industry, making valuable connections with all the sort of people that could land me work in the future, and that has landed me work. I have loads of people messaging me, want to work with me, want to collaborate with me. Obviously gained over like 1,300 followers. Like, that's not like a lot. 1,300 followers on Instagram isn't like a lot, especially nowadays. That isn't like a lot of followers. But before I started to do portraits, I had like 600 followers for like a very long time. I wouldn't really gain any followers. But then all of a sudden, I decided to do portrait and fashion photography, and then all of a sudden I'm getting loads of jobs, I'm getting loads of people following me, messaging me, wanting to work with me, obviously paying me for photo shoots. It's a much better genre to meet new people and obviously get your name out there. So you're watching this now and you're like, well, Joe's saying to do portrait photography, but I also want to do street photography, I want to do weddings, I want to do events, I want to do wildlife, so I'm going to do them all. No. Stick to one genre, and I'm saying that genre should be portrait and fashion photography. The reason why you're not making any progress in your photography business right now and you're not making any money is because you're calling yourself a hybrid photographer. You're a jack of all trades. You do it all. You do everything. You do weddings. You do weddings, the street photography. You do events. You do portraits. You do fashion. That's why you're not making any money, because you're marketing yourself as a photographer that can do everything. Clients do not want that. Clients want to hire a photographer who has a specialism in that one genre. Like, if there's a couple getting married, they're not going to hire you who does weddings but also does streets and also does portraits and also does fashion photography. They're going to hire a photographer that only does weddings, and they're a wedding photographer, because they have the confidence in that person that they're going to be the best at that job. It also puts those photographers in a position that have that specialism to charge much more than you do. You can't justify charging the same amount as a normal wedding photographer because you do multiple things. You do everything for some reason, but that wedding photographer does that one thing, so they can charge a lot more than you. By all means, if you want to also do some street photography and some landscape photography on the side, that's completely fine, but do not market yourself as a hybrid photographer. That's the mistake that you make, is not by doing those other genres. Like, sometimes I'll go out there and take some street photography photos, but I'm not putting that on my portfolio. I'm not putting that on my Instagram being like, I'm also a street photographer, guys. I also do weddings. Like, no, I'm just showing people, if I do post them, I'm just like showing, oh, I've done some street stuff too, I guess. Like, but I'm not actually like marketing myself as that photographer. Like, I'm still marketing myself as a fashion and portrait photographer. So if you want to make a profitable portrait photography business specifically, if you want to do some street stuff, do it, but just don't post it. Don't like put it on your portfolio going, I also do street stuff, guys, and put it like a little tab category on your website going like, oh, here's some lifestyle street stuff as well. Like, do not do that. Just put only your portrait and fashion photography on there. Stop trying to market yourself. I can do everything. Like, I personally think it's an ego thing, because I used to do it too. I personally think it's an ego thing to kind of show people that, oh, I can do other stuff, not just portrait and fashion photography. I'm good at other stuff too. We don't care. No one cares that you're good at doing street photography or good at landscapes. Like, I'm pretty good at doing landscape photography. I feel like my compositions and the stuff, how I shoot, is pretty good, but I've taken pretty nice landscape photos in the past, but I don't put them on my website going, I can also do street stuff, I can also do landscape stuff, because I'm really good at it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna only put my fashion and portrait stuff on there. How do you think I got to my position? I got my work into Vogue. I've been able to build up a network and be able to get consistent clients. It isn't through like dabbling in all these other genres, doing all these things. It's about sticking to one thing, tunnel visioning one genre, which is portrait and fashion photography, and sticking to that. Filling my portfolio with just that, marketing myself as just that, and I'm able to get high quality, high paying clients through that. Okay, so let's say now you've committed to portrait photography, you listen to my advice, and you're okay, what do I do now, Joe? What do I do now? How do I build a portfolio? How do I build up a business as a portrait photographer? So I'm gonna give you my step-by-step guide, also known as the Photo Genius Protocol. This will ensure the fastest progress possible and make sure you build up that photography business as a portrait and fashion photographer as soon as possible. This advice I'm gonna give you is sourced from basically every professional photographer that I've spoke to that is seasoned in this game, also from my own personal experiences. So you know this is going to be a very credible source of knowledge. So yeah, make sure to follow this step by step. So this advice is assuming that you already have a camera and a lens. So I'm not going to talk about how you can get that. Obviously, it doesn't matter what lens and camera that you have, assuming that you already have some gear that you can take photos with. So you've got a camera lens. First, start by photographing your friends and your family. The reason why I say your friends and your family is because, well, the beauty of portrait photography is that you don't need to photograph professional models to take photos. You can take photos of anyone, which is kind of nice, you know what I mean? As you can kind of tell, you don't need to photograph actual models. Also, photographing friends and family just relieves that tension. Like imagine your first photo shoot as a portrait photographer is with a professional model. Like imagine how much tension there is there. Like imagine how stressed you would be. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? You don't have to pose, you don't have to compose, you don't have to light your model if you have a light in a studio. You don't have to communicate. Like, well, you don't know anything about direction. Like you're gonna be shitting yourself. So you're not gonna really learn much from that experience. So that's why I say start off with your friends and your family. This photo shoot that you're going to do with your friend or your family member is not going to be like an actual proper photo shoot. It's going to be more of like a hangout. So you're going to organize a little hangout with your friend, go for a coffee, go for some food, and then you're going to take some photos along the way. Still, like you still want to pose them. You still want to be like, okay, pose up here, do that pose and all that, or something like that. But for the most part, you want to treat it more of like, okay, you're there to just hang out with your friends. Because if you treat it as like, okay, I'm only here to take photos, if you don't get any good photos out of it, you're gonna feel like it's a waste of time. You're gonna be like, oh, that was bad. You have this you're gonna have like a bad experience with it. You're gonna have that bad negative feedback from that portrait shoot, which will probably demotivate you from doing that again. So treat it more of like a hangout rather than like a professional photo shoot. But you want to use this time to really take your time with the photos, like experiment, like play around with compositions, play around with your settings, play around with the poses or like the angles or something like that. Like really play around with this sort of stuff. Like because you're just photographing your friend, there is no pressure. They're not going to like rushing you and being like, take the photo, take the photo. You have all the time in the world. Like really play like super, so go slow motion, be like, take the piss of it, I believe. I think you should take the piss of it. If you're gonna just take as long as you can with the settings and with like whatever it is, so really play around with all sorts of different things, because this is your time to master the basics of a portrait photographer. It doesn't mean like mastering your settings, but it could be that, but it also just mainly means like getting better at posing, getting better at lighting if you're in a studio, if it's your angles, your compositions, working on what type of lenses that you like to use. Maybe if you have multiple lenses, you're switching between the lenses on the day, like you're not really worrying about, oh, do I have enough time to switch lens? Like, don't like feel rushed. Just really take your sweet ass time with it. Another piece of advice I'd give you for those photo shoots is that don't be afraid to take shit photos. Again, because you're doing this more of like a hangout rather than an actual photo shoot, if you don't get any good photos out of it, who cares? And you probably won't get any good photos out of it if you're starting out, but there's nothing wrong with that. You have to take shit photos if you want to get better. Like, I used to take shit photos. You think I take amazing photos now because I used to always take amazing photos? Like, no, like I was taking shit photos as well. And also another thing I would say is quantity is key in this stage of your career. Like I would say you'd want to do these types of photo shoots like once, twice a week. I don't know how often you hang out with your friends or your family members, but you might want to bump that number up if you don't hang out with them that much. So yeah, just hang out with them more, take some photos along the way, and it's just a fun time. They get free photos for their Instagram, you get some photos for your portfolio, you get some experience. It's a win-win in my opinion. Another essential thing you need to do is make an Instagram account. Market yourself as a professional portrait photographer. A professional, by the way. Don't call yourself an amateur or I'm a beginner photographer. Do not do that, because I used to do that in the past, right? I used to put on my portfolio, I'm an amateur photographer. You will never get any paid work if you call yourself an amateur photographer. Even if you charge £20 for a photo shoot, you ain't getting work. So make sure to market yourself as a professional. Even if you just started, you've never been paid a penny, it doesn't matter. That's like being a professional photographer. It's not like an official term. It's not like you have a PhD in something. Like you don't need a degree to call yourself a professional. So there's nothing stopping you from calling yourself a professional. So call yourself a professional portrait photographer, make an Instagram account, post your best pictures that you've taken with your friends and with your family members. Don't be picky with it either too. Don't be like, oh, my photo's okay. Like you're starting out. You're probably shit at photography, so it doesn't really matter if they're shit or not. As long as you have a heartbeat on your portfolio, online and on social media, that's all that matters. Just show yourself. Because I know I've coached photographers in the past, and they were on my program, on my photography program, that don't even have Instagram accounts, or they have very inactive Instagram accounts from their photography, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, if you want to, you're wondering why you're not getting any paid work from photography. You want to make this a full-time career, but you're not even treating it like it. You're not even taking it seriously. I remember I coached a photographer a few months back. This was before I had my program. I had like my coaching program instead of my current program I have right now. And he literally didn't have an Instagram account. Well, he had an Instagram account, but he had like a few posts on there. And he didn't really he didn't even call himself as a photographer or anything like that. He didn't have his Instagram as a business account or anything like that. Like, it was just like, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to get any paid shoots if you're not doing that. So yeah, call yourself as a professional photographer. Put photographer on your Instagram bio, and when you make your Instagram account a professional account, and you can pick like a certain like genre or business type, put photographer, put artist, put something like that on there, because it's just the basic stuff that you need to do. So now that you've got a few photo shoots under your belt with your friends and your family, you've got some cool photos, you've kind of not mastered the basics, but you've learned how to pose, you know how to communicate. It's great. Now you want to transition into shooting non or aspiring models. Obviously, I said earlier that the beauty of portrait photography is that you can photograph anyone and take good photos of anyone, but the reality is, if you want to really step your photos up a notch and your portfolio to the next level, make it look more professional, shooting models is going to really help with that. So when I say aspiring or non-models, I just mean a model that is kind of new to the game. They're trying to build up their experience, trying to build up their portfolio, trying to get their foot in the door in the industry, just like you are with your photography basically, but with their modeling. So how do you find these models? Well, it could be your friend maybe. Maybe you have a friend who's trying to do modeling, who's pretty good at modeling but doesn't do it, but should be a model. You could do that, or you can use Instagram or social media and find models that way, like cold message models. Like, this is what I used to do in the past. I don't really do it as much anymore, but it's something I used to do. I would go on Instagram. A little guide here, by the way, I do have a full course talking about how the methods I use to source models for completely free for my photo shoots. It's second link below as well, you can check it out. It's a completely free guide, so yeah, sign up to that, you can get that. But I'll briefly explain some of the guide in this video right now. So what I would do is, I would go on Instagram, I would type in like my city and then models. So for me, I'm based in Birmingham, UK, so I put Birmingham models, and a bunch of posts would come up on the explore page of different models, or quote unquote models, that tag themselves as Birmingham models. And I find one that I like and I simply just message them, ask them if they want to do a photo shoot. And again, that guide that I just mentioned, that will give you like templates, like word for word templates that you can use to make sure you get the best response rate. Because I have to message so many of them. That's the cold reality, guys. You have to message a lot to get a lot of responses and to book photo shoots. I have to message like 20 just to get like 2 responses. And obviously that template that I'm going to give you, make sure that you don't have to message that many models and still get good responses. So yeah, click the second link below if you want that little guide that I'm going to give you. But yeah, you do that, you message them, and you organize a photo shoot. But for this, because now you're not photographing your friends and your family, you want to take this a little bit more seriously. You want to plan these photo shoots out. You want to make a proposal. You want to make a little presentation, a little mood board, a little shot list for the photo shoot. Really giving a general gauge and vibe of the entire aesthetic of the shoot that you're planning to shoot with that model. So you really want to pay attention to what the styling is going to be, the lighting that you're going to use, the location, the makeup, a shot list even, like going all out with this photo shoot, really planning it out, not just like you're doing with your friends and your family where you're just like rocking up and just taking some photos on the day, just like experimenting, like freestyling it, but you're actually taking it seriously. You're really like planning out the photo shoot here. And if you want to learn how to create the perfect mood board and the perfect presentation to show to your model to convince them to want to work with you for completely free, because you're going to be working, you're going to be collaborating with these people, you're not going to pay them, you're going to do it for free, obviously. Guys, again, click the second link below to get access to a little guide which will tell you how to make the perfect presentation, how to think of a photo shoot concept, how to recreate creative work that people want to be a part of for free. But the reason why I say shoot non-models instead of like start by shooting professional models is because maybe the professional models you won't be able to get access to in your experience level, but not really that, but it's mainly because professional models are actually easier to photograph. They already know what they're doing. They can already pose. They don't really need much direction from you. They can just do everything. They're comfortable in front of a camera. It's great. So by shooting non-models, there's a high chance that they don't really know what they're doing. They don't really know how to pose. They're a bit stiff in front of a camera. They might not know what to do. Maybe some models are really good, but for the most part, they might be very kind of stiff. They don't really know what they're doing. So you're using that opportunity to you're using that shoot with that person as an opportunity to really practice your posing. Because if you're going straight into shooting professional models and they just do all the posing themselves, you're not giving yourself a chance to really experiment and learn how to communicate and direct a model to get the perfect poses out of them. Because if you're so used to shooting models that just know what they're doing, and then you start by shooting a model that doesn't know what they're doing, they don't really know how to pose, it's like you're stuck now. You know, what do? You don't know what to do because you're so used to models that just do it themselves that you don't even know how to pose, and you're cooked. You know what I mean? So by starting off with non-models, you're building up that experience with really meticulously posing the model. Like their hand placement is wrong, their chin is too low, their chin is too high, their posture is kind of hunched back and needs to like straighten their back, bring up their chest a little bit. They're doing these things. Obviously, you're using this opportunity to really learn how to pose your models. And once you've like gotten that experience from shooting non-models, and if you can make a non-model or someone look really fluid and really comfortable in front of a camera and posing really well, someone who doesn't even know how to pose or model, making that transition from shooting them to pro models to shooting professional models that just know what they're doing is going to be a breeze. Like you're so used to like posing them meticulously, doing everything yourself, and now you're photographing models that just do it all themselves. It's easy. You know what I mean? So doing that is obviously, yeah, it's way better. Because the thing about portrait photography is not just about getting good at how you compose and how you'd light, but it's also about how you can communicate with your model, giving good direction, making sure they're comfortable in front of a camera so you get the best photos possible out of that model. Because have you ever done a photo shoot? Maybe you have if you haven't done portrait photography before, but if you have, you've probably done a photo shoot of a model that doesn't really know what they're doing, you don't really know how to pose them, and they're kind of uncomfortable, and you look at the photos afterwards and you're like, oh, this is putting me off. Like the photos are good, like the photos are technically good, like the lighting is good, the composition is good, but then just like the model just looks kind of off. And it puts you off the photo and you don't even like it at that point. And it puts other people off. When they look at it, they're like, oh, there's something off here. I don't know what it is, but it's something off here, and it's most likely the model. Again, for this stage in your photography, you still want to prioritize quantity over quality. You want to use this time to experiment as much as possible, but on a higher scale, so to say. Like the first part when you're shooting friends and your family, that's more like learning how you can compose, how to like your settings. It's more like that basic stuff like posing. But this part is more about finding your personal style as a portrait photographer, because your personal style is key if you want to start landing your dream clients and you want to start landing clients that want your creative input and you're not just getting hired for a bunch of boring bullshit commercial work. So if you use my situation as an example, this time last year, so not that long ago, this time last year, I was in that phase where I was like photographing a bunch of non-models, some actual models, and I was just doing 2, 3, sometimes even 4, 5 photo shoots every single month. Collaborative shoots, of course. I had a couple of paid shoots, but for the most part, they were like collaborative, free, TFP basis photo shoots. But I dabbled in all sorts of different styles for all those photo shoots. Like imagine I'm doing 3 photo shoots a month, and I'm doing something different on every single photo shoot. Sometimes I did do a similar thing. Like I had a phase where I was using ProMIS filters. I was going for this moody look. I did that for a few photo shoots in a row. But I was like, actually, I transitioned into something more clean looking and something like a bit different, so more dramatic maybe, and I just consistently just changed my look, my style in all my photos, and I found out actually I like this style of shooting. And now, a year later, from all that experimenting and from all those photo shoots I did, I am now a photographer that has a personal style, that has a signature style. I can say with confidence that I have found my personal style. I know what I like to shoot. I know the color palettes that I like the most. I know the lighting that I like the most. Like right now, the lighting I'm doing right now is kind of similar to what I like to do. Like even like my photography style is kind of like using into my YouTube videos and into like how I like light myself and how I compose myself in a way, so to say, right? So yeah, and because I have that personal style and I show that in my portfolio, I'm getting hired by clients that want that specific way of shooting. They're not just hiring me for some bullshit photo shoot which is boring and commercial. Can we do our corporate headshots for my photo shoot, like for my company? Like I'm not getting hired for that stuff. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is, because I'm getting hired for shoots that I actually find fun, that I can put in my portfolio, that I can show to people that, yo, I created this work, like check it out, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's sick. So once you've mastered all these aspects of your photography, you've gotten really good at your composing your images, you know how to light your models, you know how to communicate, you know how to pose, all this type of stuff. You want to make sure you take all of your photo shoots super seriously, super intentional photo shoots. Imagine that you're getting paid £10,000 for every photo shoot that you do. Like imagine you're getting paid 10K for a photo shoot. How would you prepare for that? How would you go about it? How would you approach it? You're probably gonna plan it out really meticulously. You're probably gonna plan out every single aspect of the photo shoot. You're gonna take it super seriously. You're gonna source the right team. You're gonna make sure you're using the right gear. You don't even rent out gear. You're really gonna go all out for that photo shoot. You want to make sure that every single photo shoot that you do is a client magnet. That every single shoot that you do just oozes in like, I want to get hired. Like a client is like, can't help themselves but to look at that and be like, I just want that look for my brand, or I want that look for my thing, or whatever it is. Like they're going to hire you for that photo shoot. Because ever since I started approaching my photo shoots in this way, I'm re-planning out all my photo shoots. I'm creating my best work every single time. Every single time I do a photo shoot, I feel like it gets better and better and better, because I'm acting like I'm getting paid a lot of money for the photo shoot. Like a lot of photo shoots that you see in my portfolio, a lot of them, I can't lie to you, are like collaborative shoots, right? But you look at them, you wouldn't think that. You look at that and think, like, oh my God, that was like a big photo shoot. Like that person, you probably got paid loads of money for that photo shoot, and there's a big team in there. Like, no, some of these photo shoots I've done in my portfolio, they're completely free. Like I actually funded it myself. So yeah. So that is the Photo Genius protocol. Follow every step by step. Do not go a different way. Don't go your own way. Stop. Do the exact same thing that I said, and I guarantee you, you will have a profitable photography business as a portrait/fashion photographer. Obviously, I teach the ways to master your photo shoots in my other YouTube videos on my channel, which you can check out at any time that you want, of course. But if you're watching this video this far into it, you take your photography seriously. You want to take your portrait photography to the next level and make this a business and make this a full-time career. So that's why I think you'll be the perfect student for my photography program, Photo Genius University. I personally teach all the students in this program. I will go over your portfolio. We go on weekly calls. I'll give you access to some super informative courses to help you build your portfolio from the ground up and get you one step closer to landing your dream client and to building up a profitable photography business, no matter your experience level. I have a student in there with like 5 years of experience, and only recently, since joining, has he made so much progress. Like in that 5 years, he was kind of just like making a little bit of progress, kind of like being stagnant, or you know what they do. Then all of a sudden they join my program, and then all of a sudden they're just like, yo, they're making so much progress. They're doing more shoots, they're booking more shoots, they're making photo shoot concepts. They're easily one step closer and multiple steps closer to landing their first dream client and building up that business that they've always wanted to build up. I also have students in there with basically no experience. They're like beginners, you know what I mean? Like they barely know how to use their camera, or they've only had like a handful of photo shoots under their belt, and they need to learn how to do more technical stuff, like how to light, how to communicate with their model, how to navigate their photography business, how they can build their portfolio from the ground up and make as fast as progress as possible. It doesn't matter what experience level you're at. You have 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 0 years. This program is for you. my whole goal with this program is to make sure you make the fastest progress possible. When you make faster progress than me, and you can get to my position and beyond much faster than I did. So if you take your portrait photography seriously and you want to start by building up a profitable photography business and make this your full-time career, guys, click the top link below and join today, become a student, and I'm excited to talk to you. So yeah guys, that is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography, and I'll see you next time guys. Goodbye.